morning, Eastview. You just tuned into another episode of The Flash. I'm Maddie and this is Callie.
For you juniors and seniors out there, you're watching on a very emotional morning.
For those of you who didn't know, the upperclassmen attended the mock crash this morning. The mock crash depicted the scene of what could happen as a result of drunk driving. It recreated the experience of a crash by not only physically duplicating it, but showing the emotional aspects as well.
The mock crash is to show kids the result of a drinking and driving incident, what the full outcome is. Most kids just think they're out having fun and don't realize that this is what happens often as a result of drinking and driving.
This really puts into perspective how being under the influence can change your life in a matter of seconds.
A new machine out there is the SIDNE, which aims to simulate impaired driving, much like the one we saw in the mock crash. Devony got the story about this new tool to bring awareness to drinking and driving.
In addition to the mock crash and the SAD program, Eastview and the Apple Valley Police Department are bringing in a new way to raise awareness about impaired driving.
The SIDNE car caught our eye a while ago, and we saw it's the same company that does the Fatal Vision drunk goggles. We wanted to go to the next level, which is to give the experience for the students here an opportunity to really understand what the distractions are for drunk driving. And
Mr. Baird has always come into our class and has talked about it, but now this is real hands-on. It shows the kids, how judgment is impaired and how the reaction time is impaired when they're in the SIDNE car. So it's just another exciting way for us to incorporate and implement different things in terms of the issues of drinking and driving.
you hit an impaired button, and all of a sudden you're still steering it. It's just delayed, just like a drunk person would be. So if you hit the brake, it's going to brake, but it may be a second or two later.
And we're excited that kids have an opportunity. Plus, it's fun. It's kind of interactive, and they get a chance to drive the go-kart, and so there's some fun involved too. But they understand the seriousness behind it.
Drinking and driving is such an important issue in our community that the new SIDNE program is now available in driver's ed classes. Reporting for The Flash, this is Devony.
Thanks, Devony. I hope this makes kids think more and be more cautious of their decisions. If you are in driver's education, you might be driving one of these vehicles soon.
We have chosen to forego credits this week and leave you on a serious note. Ben talked to Eastview teacher Kelly Sherwin, who describes his experience he had that has impacted his life.
His story emphasizes the importance of every choice we make. Have fun this weekend, Eastview, but make good decisions and be smart.
Oh, I remember the day like it was yesterday. It was June 2nd, 1980. I was a 9th grader at Cutbank High School. It was obviously, school was about out. And back in the day, I used to play basketball. So that particular evening, there was going to be a pickup basketball game in the main gym. I lived right across the street. On my way back from the store, 3 of my really good friends, you know, everyone's your good friend in a small town, Greg, Curtis, and Dean, pulled up in their car and asked me if I wanted to go drive around with them. And, you know, I kind of wanted to. I also wanted to play basketball. And I remember walking over to the car and I looked in their back seat and I saw that there was some, they had some beer in their back seat. And I thought, you know, this is a decision I don't want to make right now. I know my parents would not be very happy with me. I had never drank alcohol at that point in my life, and you know, it's something I didn't want to do. I really thought of myself as being an athlete, and so I decided not to. I said, hey, you know, I'd like to. It sounds like fun, but I'm going to go and play basketball. And I'll never forget, it must have been a little bit after 8 o'clock that night. All of a sudden, there was a big commotion and some people came in and they summoned a couple adults from the basketball game. I remember walking out the gym that night and I kind of walked out and there were some people out there and said, hey, what happened? And it's at that point for the first time they had told me that Greg, Curtis, and Dean had been hit by a train. They had been driving out in the country. It was an uncontrolled a train stop, train crossing, and we found out later that the music was so loud in the car that the train engineer said he could hear the music in the car, and the long story short, they never saw the train coming, hit them going pretty fast, and basically killed them instantly. I've never smoked, I've never drank, and I feel that I really haven't missed out on anything. The fact that I chose not to drink that day is really why I'm still alive.